Parisian vibe. Today, I want to talk to you about the young career woman's secret weapon. There's no secret, actually, it's mentorship. And so we're going to be talking about why mentorship is so crucial. The WEF, the World Economic Forum's Global Gender Report in 2022, indicated that gender parity will not be achieved, wait for it, for the next 132 years. So just feeling the weight of that arriving in our bodies, right? 132 years. The good news, there is some good news, is that many countries have continued to work towards gender parity. For example, in 2020, the UAE moved up 4 rankings just in 1 year. And overall, the report indicates that parity is being achieved in, for example, health, in education and survival. So overall, those are looking good. The single area of outstanding regression is in economic participation and opportunity. In this area, women continue to move into jobs that are being automated. For example, basic numeracy and literacy, which in a number of countries has been automated. Also accounting, where a large proportion of women are moving into that field and is also being automated. And women are not moving into wage growth areas such as, the obvious one is technology. And they face the perennial problem of insufficient care infrastructure and access to capital. So while women continue to move into leadership roles, global societal expectations, employer policies, legal environments, and the availability of care keep affecting the choices, the educational track choices, and career trajectories for women. Childcare and child rearing, this is not going to come as a surprise, continue to largely fall to women. And not just childcare and child rearing, but the care for elders, for those who have mobility problems in the family, and for those with chronic disease in the family. And this continued to affect women's careers, particularly during the pandemic lockdown, when childcare just wasn't available. So clearly there was a productivity effect on a lot of women. And based on a 2019 study, data from 33 countries representing the majority of global working age populations, women outstripped men in unpaid care 55% to 90%. All of this is significant, not just to us as professional women, but to this incoming generation, this Generation Z. How are they going to navigate the early stages of their careers with all of this impending, right? How are they going to adapt for success? Let's look at where they've come from. Young women are accustomed to know how it works in their educational institution, whether that's high school, trade school, university. They know the goals they're expected to reach. They know social behaviors. They know those expectations. But between graduation and the first crucial stage of their careers, there is a gap in support. They're expected to adjust with little or no preparation for adapting to a real life, an IRL, professional environment where they're supposed to form and sustain relationships with colleagues and bosses. Let's look at Generation Z, and it makes me a little bit irritated that Generation Z has got a bad rap. They're considered lazy, they hop from job to job, they don't tend to focus, but Generation Z has grown up with the availability of powerful digital tools that enable them to be self-reliant. They're adept at working online. They are active in working towards a diverse community. Hello, DEI. This population knows what diversity looks like and how it operates. They're flexible. They enjoy relevance and authenticity, and they also have a resistance to hierarchical systems. And this can clearly be a problem for them as they are working with bosses and supervisors. They also may not understand basic professional skills like writing a professional email, knowing that they should take their earbuds out while they're speaking to a supervisor or a boss. Okay, let's see how organizations offer adaptation systems. They will offer in-house training and induction courses, but these are, completely conforming to the organization's expectations about productivity, such as collaboration, work schedule, project completion. Sorry, I'm staggering around here in my notes. They want punctuality, they want participation. And also there are these unspoken rules about loyalty and dress code and socialization. And we know as professional women that those unspoken rules can have a significant effect on your career if you just don't know how they work. So the young woman, or incoming young woman, has graduated with her certification or degree. She knows how to prepare herself for the interview. She knows how to score the job. She'll want to believe in the value of her work and the purpose of the organization she's working with. In addition to all of this, all of the anxiety over forming and sustaining professional connections, she will meet the same gender bias, sexism, and racial bias that her predecessors have met and still continue to meet. That's us ladies. We know what that's like, right? We put our makeup on, we put our clothes on, and we put on the suit of armor to meet the overt and covert reactions that we get in the workplace. And if we respond to those, we are told we are being hysterical, we are exaggerating, we are gaslighted, we are marginalized, and we are prevented very often from access to promotional and professional development opportunities. Your young woman is going to walk into all of that being totally unprepared. In addition to that, let's just take a look at body intelligences here, because very often most emphasis is put on cognitive intelligence, right, from the neck up, the decision-making ability, the ability to apply critical thinking. But there are all the body intelligences, the intuition, the seeking acceptance, the seeking for relevance, the reliance, for example, on spatial relationships, the reliance on music, tone of voice, etc. Even ancestral influences, things that have been passed on by our family, how we should behave. If a young woman is not prepared and she walks into a room relying purely on cognitive intelligence, shutting down her body's intelligence, she may well find herself with her back against the wall, seeking eye contact with the only other woman or the only other woman of color in the room. So, and we know what that's like, right? All of us know. I mean, something happened to me recently where I walked into a room where it was 90% white, and I immediately, with all my experience, with all the training that I've had, I immediately felt myself seek the wall to hold me up before I remembered, oh yes, I can do this, and managed to unclench my fist and straighten my shoulders and walk my chin up. So the young woman, even though she's had all her achievements in her educational institution, and she's prepared in that way, she is, as a young career woman, completely inchoate. What is she to do? Enter the mentor. So recent studies by UCLA and the Journal of General Internal Medicine, in addition to articles such as by Forbes magazine, the Cherie Blair Foundation for Women, they all indicate that mentorship for young women, I want to underscore this bit here, establishes a critical substructure for professional development and success. I'll go over that again. Mentorship provides and establishes a critical substructure for professional development and success. Overwhelmingly in studies, women reported that mentorship would have made a critical difference in their career trajectory. And I know I'm speaking for all of you women out there, those of you who've had mentors, you know what a difference that's made. And for those of us who have not had mentors, you know what a difference that could have made. Let's talk about in-house mentorship here. And a friend recently said, in-house mentorship, they are not mentors, they are dementors, with a quick, Harry Potter reference. Perhaps not quite as destructive as dementors, but in-house mentors, the very combination is an oxymoron, right? There's a conflict of interest for an in-house mentor. You need someone who's going to be rational and objective. So mentorship, the right mentorship, provides a career foundation for the young woman. Without a mentor, the young woman can easily make decisions early on that could be damaging and that could derail her career. So what does a mentor do? They provide encouragement and challenging and reassurance. The challenging part is really necessary, right? You can't just let the young woman just feel that she's okay in her job. You need to question, what are your long-term goals, right? The mentor can teach the young woman also breathing techniques and how to manage her body through the stresses that we just talked about in terms of racial and gender bias, sexism, and the rest of it, right? Those things are not going anywhere. We know that. But learning how to manage the body through stresses will help the young woman to take up her space instead of shrinking away, raise her voice to be heard instead of being silenced. The mentor doesn't advise. The mentor asks questions. Why do you want to apply for that job? What will it do for your overall plans? Might those plans change? Or remember that conflict you had with your boss yesterday? Now that you've had a chance to separate yourself from the immediate reactions of anger, self-victimization, frustration, feeling of failure, now that we can create emotional distance, let's look at that conflict with curiosity and with compassion for yourself. The mentor helps the young woman situate herself in her self-confidence and self-worth so that she can address decisions without the distraction of wondering if she's good or worthy enough. Enter self-doubt, right? The judge that sits on your shoulder all the time. That self-doubt detracts, so that when she walks into a conference or gives a presentation or addresses her boss, she can sabotage before she's even started speaking. The mentor's job is to help the young woman prepare physically as well as emotionally. Just the act of straightening the spine, pulling the shoulders back, the chin lifts and creates space around the throat so that she can breathe deeply. She can walk in knowing that she has a full and powerful force shield around her. She has value to add. So that all of those little whispers, those overt and covert comments, are other people's stories, not hers. Without mentorship from the beginning, the young woman cannot successfully recognize and target a sponsor. So let's talk about sponsors. Because basically every woman, let me speak to all of you, needs a mentor and a sponsor. The sponsor, unlike the mentor, is within the organization. And the sponsor is usually upper management, consultant, and is behind those closed door meetings, those end of year board meetings, where those crucial decisions about raises and bonuses and professional development opportunities and promotional opportunities, those decisions are made. There may be criteria written down for those decisions, but the decisions are passed by human beings. As motivational speaker Carla Harris says, meritocracy is a fallacy. So let's say that you and I are being evaluated in those meetings. My name comes up. Sandra's she's done really well. She's She's shown leadership. She's finished her projects on time. She's got good client feedback. Let's give her bonus number 3. And at this point, let's notice that there are no bonuses created equal, right? All bonuses are not created equal. There is a disparity there. So I get bonus number 3. Your name comes up. Same thing, performed really well, great client feedback, moving into leadership position, etc. And at that point, someone speaks up and says, we've worked with her. I like what she's doing. I've actually monitored a couple of the projects she's been working on. She's adding tremendous value to the organization. Your name gets put into bonus number 1 because you have somebody advocating for you. This is what your young woman needs if she is going to see her career trajectory on a steep curve rather than a slight curve and a leveling off into a plateau. Additionally, having someone speak up for you, they will also know the politics of making sure that your name is at the top of the whiteboard and not at the bottom. So they need to know when to speak up for you as well as how. And all of that, the sponsor will know how to do. The mentor will help the young woman target the right person. So, for example, your young woman might say, my boss is great. I really love her. She thinks I'm fantastic. She's giving me more responsibility. I want her as my sponsor. If the boss is not in those closed door meetings, that is not the right sponsor. She needs someone in the upper management level who will advocate verbally and loudly and continually for her. In addition, the mentor will know how to prepare the young woman for that meeting. When she finally does decide, okay, this is the right sponsor, how will she prepare? She will have a portfolio that she can take in to present to the sponsor so that they will have every opportunity to say yes. Let's say the sponsor is the young woman's supporting being, right? This is the person that's holding up the structure. But the foundation for the young woman's career is the mentor. Without the mentor, the young woman won't be able to recognize, target, and approach her sponsor. So where do you find a mentor? Because the young woman needs professional guidance, the family is not a good place to start. The family is your cheer team, but even if you have someone in the family who's in the same profession as the young woman, it won't be a good choice because that's not dispassionate advice. You need someone external to the family, just as you need someone external to the organization the young woman works for rationale, for dispassionate advice, for objective support. Who is that person? Typically, it could be a teacher or a tutor or an advisor if you've got somebody who's got a young woman who's got an advanced degree. Best of all is to find a professional woman like you who's been through the career, who's fought her way up, who knows what it's like to face gender and racial bias in the workplace and knows when to hold, when to drop, when to approach HR, when to move on, how to create emotional distance so that you can have a rational and creative approach. And just by the way, my organization, the Stelfanti Network, introduces professional women to young women and matches them in mentorship. That's the relationship that works the best. Because of the mentor, a young woman can step into her fully empowered potential. She will be able in turn to reach out to help and help someone else up, a younger person up. She will be able to pass on those stress release strategies, the ability to stand with the shoulders back and the head up. And how many of you found that you were sitting with your shoulders back once we were talking? Here's one little other quick tip for you. While you're sitting now, and we sit so much right in front of our devices, scoot your bum back and sit on your tailbone. And feel the difference, not on your tailbone, sorry, scoot your bum back and sit on your seat bones. Because we tend to sort of sit in a curve after a while. If you push your rear back and sit on your sit bones, you immediately feel your spine straighten. Something as small as that will make all the difference for a young woman entering a meeting with her boss or giving a presentation. Mentorship unlocks all the yeses, all the opportunities, all the success that can then be passed on to the next generation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sandra. I know you're physically not here, but we feel like you're speaking to us directly. So if we have any questions, we will email to you. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation with WIN conferences and continuous support with WIN conferences. So let's join another session. Speaker is waiting. So please join the session of Antoinette. Thank you.